Yeah, without a doubt.
Welcome to the All Funk No Bunk Cannabasics episode, where this time we're going to be talking about some terpenes today, guys, and kind of
Terps.
That's definitely
Love terps.
I love the short for sure. Terps
Oh,
is
it's so much more fun to call them terps. They're
terps.
terpenes, but
They
we're
are
talking
terpenes,
terps today.
Yeah, terp talk.
Terp talk. That's right.
Fucking. So what is a terpene, Nick?
So terpenes are just the essential oils of plants. So you hear people talk about essential oils. You know, linalool is found very heavily in like lavender, and you can find like beta carotene inside of like black pepper,
Right,
and things
right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So they're found in all plants, and they're essential oils.
It's pretty much, I think, the most simple description of it. They're just like naturally occurring essential oils.
Yep. That's what plant grows for themselves.
Yeah, so like what you know.
Also, that cannabis is a plant, so they also have these.
Right, exactly.
That's why they're, you know what I mean? That's why we have terpenes.
That is, exactly. And then, so, and like with the plant, you know, the whole reason that the plant has these oils on it is because cannabis grew naturally and in the wild before, you know, we started really cultivating it for mass sale like we do. And it would fend off bugs. It would attract certain bugs. It has antifungal bacteria.
Yeah, exactly. Antifungal, antibacterial,
Yeah,
all kinds of things that can help heal the plant, and you know what I'm saying, and keep it healthy.
Absolutely. Like, I believe terpenolines are, you know, one of the big ones for that too. You know, helping with keeping it really healthy and things like that.
Yeah, and also, like you said, attract certain animals, because that, you know, as you know, for plants, kind of like fruit, and, you know, fruits get a lot of their smells and flavors from terpenes, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which,
and
that smells delicious because
for
of
real,
them
holy
terps.
crap. Yeah, it does. Wow, that's amazing.
Super
And that attracts certain animals, because that, in the wild at least, helps the spread of seeds. You know what I'm saying? Which helps the growth of the plant, and that's what plants want. They want to survive like any living creature. So the more seeds that get spread, you know, because an animal comes and eats the fruit, or it eats the flower because it smells good and tastes good, and then it goes and it, you know, poops the seeds out somewhere, and then they germinate, and there you go. More cannabis, more plants.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they are there for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, like it has its naturally occurring reasons, and then, you know, when we're talking about smoking it nowadays, it's one of the big factors. It is one of the factors to be considered when you are purchasing your cannabis. It's something that you need to look at and or think about, you know, because they produce different effects when you smoke them.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a big part of what drives your high. Nick has used a great analogy that
I stole from someone on YouTube.
Yes, but I would love for you to kind of just like a brief repeat of that.
So, the trichome is part of, you know, is the part of the plant that holds, they're like glands in the plant that hold all of these essential oils and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the trichome is like the car, you know, and you use that analogy as like the trichome is what gets you your effects, gets you your high and stuff.
THC, essentially.
Yeah, and then the car is what gets you, you know, around. So you use that analogy, the car is like the trichome. Inside of the car, you have the engine is like the THC.
Yes.
That's what drives you forward, you know, gets you places, the engine. And the terpenes are like the steering wheel.
Yes.
That's what helps, you know, kind of guide the car in the direction. So, you know, they work together in harmony.
Absolutely.
But the terpenes are, you know, when it comes down to it, mostly about just kind of controlling your high.
Yeah,
you know,
they are what produce certain different avenues for your high to go. Essentially, if we're continuing this analogy, you know, you're in the car and they're choosing which street you're taking and which vibe you're feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. How you
For that
control
day.
your effect.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are other things still that tie into what change your effect, but terpenes are, I would say, very large part of it, and it's something that, you know, and let's talk shopping by your nose, moving on from that, though, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking because terps are the aromatic compounds.
Yeah, so that's where not all, but a lot of the smells also come from, is the terpenes. So, shopping by your nose, I think, is really important because, as any animal, not just, humans, any animal, their nose is important to you because, that's how you know whether something's going to be good for you or not. You know what I mean? If you were in the wild and you were going to pick up, a piece of fruit or something, and you smell it and it smells all rotten and gross, not to eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you use the same kind of thing with cannabis when you're shopping. You smell it. If it doesn't really smell good to you, it might not be good for you.
Yeah, it just may not be something that's up your avenue.
So kind of shop for, and when I say what smells good, I don't necessarily mean smells like the sweetest or something.
No.
I mean when you smell it, it should
it should trigger something.
Yeah, exactly. You should feel it. You're like,
oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that also comes from experience as well. Because,
Absolutely.
If you've had something similar to that you liked before, your brain probably remembers that. And when you smell it, it's like it recognizes that as something that's good for you.
Takes you back to maybe a moment or an experience or something like that. Sometimes I get that with certain strains, but overall, there is something that is triggering in your brain when you do that. There is something that is telling you, hey, I'm probably going to like this effect because this smell triggers such a positive reaction in my mind, essentially.
Right.
So it's a great way to shop, when all else fails and you have that opportunity. Oh, the pupper's always taking up the time.
I opened that door 6 times a podcast.
Puppies and pot, that's what happens.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so just keep in mind that terpenes are a large part of, your cannabis experience.
Huge part. And you gotta look at all the levels and all the different kinds of terpenes that are in there and find out what combinations work really well for you. God, that does taste good though.
If you live somewhere,
Love those terpenes.
You live somewhere awesome like Nevada and they give you labels.
Yes.
It's so easy to just fold your label in half and just leave a little part sticky and then just put it in a notebook or something. Mm-hmm. Keep the ones you like or the ones you don't like, either way, or keep them both but keep them separate. And then
keep track.
You have an idea of what works for you.
And eventually you'll just be able to know. But it's keeping that kind of a record at first and really paying attention to what works for you and what doesn't at the beginning stages. And it is a process. It's not, cannabis isn't something that's super easy to just get right into. I don't think any whole or this type of medicine is, but when you do the work and put in the effort on that, you definitely see different results and better experiences through doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And certain things will work with you, some things might not, and then certain things will work for you just at certain times of the day and depending on where you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Right on, guys. Thanks for joining us this week on another big Cannabasics episode of Terpenes. Have a good one, guys. All funk, no bunk.
Without a doubt.